What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Junction Podcast. We are here with episode 49, and we have a special guest, the Unforgettable Luncheon. How's it going?
How's it going?
Doing good. Of course, we've got Game Raymer, who's making us late. How are you tonight?
It was not me, I swear.
Just
I'm
kidding.
staying out of that one.
No. How's everybody doing?
Late, as always.
Fashionably late, yeah. We had. I was gonna say something funny, but we'll pass on that one.
Yeah, because you don't have any jokes.
I don't have jokes apparently. Not very good at the joking. But budget brandy.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Man.
So how's everybody doing tonight?
Great. Happy to be here.
Oh, it's another wonderful Sunday night.
Most
Sunday,
definitely.
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started and let our guests get to know a little bit about you. So what is it that you do in the gaming / pop culture realm?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to me. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he didn't specify, but it's all the questions are for you.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do in the whole, like gaming community, pop culture community?
So my podcast is essentially I say that it's nerd comedy at its okayest. Essentially I talk about different nerd topics, so gaming, comics, movies, cartoons. I give a little history behind them. I make jokes, I have fun. So it actually started at work one day. One of the guys says, "You should have a podcast." And I'm like, "You think so?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you always got all this information. Why not?" So my whole thing is on my way home from work, I'm literally sitting in the White Castle drive-thru Googling how to start a podcast.
Like one does.
Yes.
Yeah.
While you're waiting for your White Castle at like 12:30 at night. So I looked at it. I decided, okay, I started writing down ideas. I came up with the Unforgettable Luncheon because I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Like, I love The Simpsons. I can quote it like you wouldn't believe. And my favorite bit is the steamed hams bit from season 7. 22 short films about Springfield with Principal Skinner and Superintendent Chalmers. Because the sad thing is I can do that whole thing word for word. I've seen it that many times.
That's kind of awesome.
In fact, steamed hams is what all of my social medias are under.
Nice.
So I started out kind of my first few, were kind of rough, you might say, but I started to refine myself, throw in different ideas, started to build a small following mostly through word of mouth. But one of these days I'll be one of these big fancy podcasters that like makes bajillions of dollars, and then I'll wake up and realize it was all a dream.
Pretty much. Welcome to our lives. No, but I mean that's kind of how it is when you first get started. You're trying to figure it out. We all have that like crazy story of how we got into it, whether we were waiting in line or not. And once you just kind of like jump into it, it's like it just keeps going forward, hopefully. And you look back one day and you're like, "Wow, this is really bad. How did people watch this from the beginning? What is going on?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Like, some people prefer, like, you do yours audio only. Some people prefer that, and I feel like when you do add in the video element, especially early on, you have more chances for like things to maybe go wrong or you look back on. But it's all like a learning and growing experience, honestly. All of this is so. Always learning. I feel like we learn new stuff every day. I say it all the time. We're always like learning new things and new ways to do things, and conversing with other people. Like when we do this, we learn stuff and teach each other things. So one of the cool things about it.
Absolutely.
It's it's a learning process. So I've had some episodes that were extremely popular, some that were not so much.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's the same way with us too.
And I've tried different ideas with things. A lot of my stuff, I tend to think of the week prior, and I'll kind of formulate ideas, write stuff down, write notes. I tend to actually write almost an entire script so I don't lose my place. But it's it gets interesting, and then thankfully because it's recorded, I can edit myself. So if I stumble
Sure.
or I decide a joke is just not funny, it's I end up recording the night before it goes up, and I'll be up until probably about 1 a.m. doing that and making the title card art on my phone.
What do you use to make the art?
It's called Polish.
Oh.
It was like a free app.
Huh.
Nice.
Because
I've heard of that.
I'm cheap.
That's awesome. So, where is it people can specifically find the podcast? Are we all over?
I'm on Spotify. I'm on Amazon Music. I'm on Apple Podcasts. Or you can go to the actual hosting website, Buzzsprout. And we have, so it's the Unforgettable Luncheon.buzzsprout.com. And it'll actually list all the places that I'm at, because there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's what we use as well, Buzzsprout. It's cool because it'll just push it out on all those whenever you choose to apply for.
And then I do have them mastered a little bit because I am terrible at all that. But I try different things, and I've been trying different things throughout, and I've started to kind of get my footing. It only took me like 27 episodes.
I feel like we still are always learning stuff about it. I mean, it's weird because when you factor in the different things, so you do yours pre-recorded and you do it audio, so like there's so many different elements and ways to podcast. So learning like kind of each thing, even audio stuff. Like I wasn't like much of a, I guess it kind of was. Most of the podcasts I kind of just listened to. But a lot of them are video podcasts, so like I kind of took inspiration, from some of that stuff. I gotta
fix something here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'm Game Raymer. How you doing over there?
I was grabbing a couple more community questions that just came in.
Oh, awesome. How was your Sunday? How was your day today?
Always busy trying to get some things done, filming, get some things caught up, get some shorts ahead for the week, just trying to catch up on some things. Always doing something.
Always doing something. Always doing something not good.
Uh-oh.
What are you talking about? He's like, what did I just walk back into?
I walked into the wrong part of that conversation, but now I'm interested.
Oh, I have no idea.
Just saying stuff.
That'll happen.
But so kind of going back to that, what made you decide to do audio only? What kind of led to that decision? Was it just something you felt more comfortable with?
Yeah, for the most part, just figured it'd be easier to start out with, maybe eventually transition to doing video ones. Like I'm starting to do like reels on Instagram and all that.
I saw that.
Some of my dumber ideas. I've got other ones, but it's taking time to actually put them together.
Hey, the only dumb idea is no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you always get, try a little bit of everything, see what works. I saw that you were doing that, so I think that's cool. Yeah, it's a good move.
So, and then what I've been doing is I've been taking some of my older episodes, using the title card as video, and putting, kind of broaden my audience a little bit. So it's worked to a point, but as I said, it's slow going.
Everything's slow going. I mean, it's cool to kind of spread the wings a little bit with some of that stuff, especially like with doing reels. I think that's cool. I think that's a good move, and I like what you do. I really enjoy it. I even love just the catchphrase of your podcast. I think it's pretty cool.
I figure manage expectations. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be looking to say that I'm the funniest guy in the world, but some of those jokes might actually land.
Right.
I actually did one that I initially put on Facebook before I put it on Instagram, because I was doing research for a Mortal Kombat podcast, and I was rewatching the movies from my teenage years, the ones from the 90s. And I mean, the first one is good. It's good, especially for the fact that it's from 95.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, on the other hand,
Not so much.
Not so much. And
Oh, it's the best ever.
I need a drink watching this. And then I realized the dumbest line comes up early in the movie. It's Sindel, and it's just the line delivery was horrible. And I'm like, yeah, there's not enough liquor in the world for this movie. And so I decided, wait a minute, that's pretty funny. So I decided to stitch that together and make it into a reel that I put up on Facebook, and ended up kind of blowing up for the most part. Not so much on Instagram, but my first real Instagram reel blew up pretty good last week. It was if you've seen it, it's the gag is how Sci-Fi Channel picks their movies, or how they make them. And I mean, it's kind of scary that it's probably how they do that too. Combine some some animal, either make it a lot bigger, or
Sharktopus.
make it a or combine it with something else, have it battle something else, or find some ridiculous way to introduce the animal, get a couple of C-list out of work actors to be love interests, and a couple of old school cameos, and there you go.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We've got a ton of comments here. I want to catch up on a few comments. We got
Can't hear you there.
Millennial Collector. Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me okay, Brandy?
Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if there's something online or.
Not sure. Millennial Collector saying hello. We got Thinking Inside the Box saying hey. Also saying that doing good. Just got home from Oppenheimer. Did everybody do that this weekend? Ernesto saying hello, Brandy. How's everyone doing? Millennial Collector.
Howdy.
Hey, Ed. Schmev Taylor, play Freebird. Thinking Inside the Box saying hello, happy Sunday, everyone. Looks like you got some feedback there.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Steve Craig Retro Games saying hello all. Mystically saying hey.
Howdy.
Ernesto saying he's doing great.
I can't hear you on here.
Oh, you can't hear us still? Not too sure. It's good on our end.
Wait, which one? On the Discord?
I can't hear you guys through here. No, I got you on my phone so I could hear it, but
Like the whole time, or did that just happen?
on the Discord, yeah.
It's good on our end, so we can, and everybody can hear us.
It just happened.
Interesting.
Probably in the middle of my description for Sci-Fi Channel.
Darn.
I'm not sure. Give it a. Yeah, there's nothing on our end. Yeah, it might pop back up.
Back in. Who knows? I'm not sure.
Can
everyone in the chat can hear all of us, right? All three of us?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, I think they can fine. I'm getting our audio just fine. Also, just a few other people to mention.
I got you on my phone. I could hear that.
Huh.
The OG Bros saying, please can I ask Brandy a question? I'm a huge N64 fanboy. Saying, a question for Brandy. Are there any N64 items you would like to add to your crazy cool collection?
There are tons, and if you stay tuned, I actually have something that I'm trying to find its way home from a convention that I went to. I bought it. It's Nintendo 64 related. I've never seen another one ever in the world. So it should be here, I'm hoping after this weekend, possibly, if I can get a big enough vehicle to get it home. So that's something that I'm adding to my Nintendo 64 collection. And there are obviously tons of other things. Like, I don't have a Nintendo 64 neon sign. I don't have a fiber optic sign for the Nintendo 64. There's, a bunch of cardboard standees and some displays that I would love. So I'm kind of going for some of that type of stuff, but it has to, be stuff that you just don't see around very often. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm hoping that video can come out within like the next 2 weeks. So I have to get it here first, and it's gonna probably happen maybe next weekend if all goes well, and then after that I will have that. So stay tuned for that on my channel.
Sounds great. I said whoop whoop, very freaking excited.
Can you hear us now, or is it still only through the YouTube?
Yeah, I if you can hear us on through the YouTube, I would probably pop in and out of Discord real quick and try that.
Only
See if
for
that
YouTube.
works. See if that works for you, because we're getting your audio in and ours
Yeah.
out okay, so.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
pop
Okay.
in and out. Yeah, that should be fine.
Sounds good.
At least everyone can hear.
Yeah, everybody's saying they can hear just fine.
If we could just get him to hear us, then that would
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah, it could have something to do with that headset too. You said you were trying to set that up beforehand. You usually don't use one. But yeah, so maybe we can chat a little bit. So we got Southern Fried Gaming Expo this weekend.
Here, I'm gonna let me kill out Discord real quick here.
Okay. Yep.
Um,
We thank everyone for being patient. Technology is always something. It happens to all of us. It literally happens every single week, I feel like. So we do appreciate everyone who's in the chat being patient. But we'll get it right, I'm sure. But what were you saying about...
So we got Southern Fried Gaming Expo this weekend. Pretty excited about that. Looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm definitely excited for it. We have a panel, so if anyone is ever, if anyone's in the area,
if you're ever going this weekend, we're giving something away.
If you're ever going just this weekend, make sure you guys check that out, because we do have a panel. You have an opportunity to win something. It's going to be a fun time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm definitely excited for it. And
are you able to hear us okay now? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it too. This panel's going.
I got it fixed.
Okay.
yay!
Awesome. Yay for technology.
Yay! Look, we got Millennial Collector Ohio saying, "I'm totally going to win at the panel." You're excluded. You don't get to win the Switch. You cannot win the Switch. If you pick your ticket, which you don't even get a ticket.
You don't even get one.
If you pick your own ticket, that does not count. You cannot win it.
No, it's going to be fun. That's going to be fun for sure. I can't wait. Yeah, so
right.
We were talking a little bit beforehand. Maybe mention a few things. You said you just got a Series X.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
How are you liking it?
Oh, I freaking love it.
Awesome.
I absolutely love it. I mean, it loads so much faster. I mean, granted, my Xbox One is probably loaded down with like 1 billion gigs of games. Because I was like transferring stuff over, reinstalling things. I put in Tom Clancy's The Division 2, and usually it takes a couple minutes for everything to load up. So I'm sitting there like looking at my phone, and I look over and I'm like, I just hit start. How is this thing? It was like
Crazy.
graphics. Oh, it was
Wow.
beautiful.
If I play video games, I'd love mine.
Yeah, if we played games, then we'd have that. No, have you always been an Xbox person over a PlayStation person?
Well, when I was in high school, this is long before PlayStation came, or before Xbox came out. I got my first, I got the original PlayStation in '99, after working about 3-4 months at White Castle to save up the money. And I was a PlayStation guy up until I went to the military. When I was in the Navy, the guys in my division had an Xbox, and we were playing Halo all the time.
Mhm.
So
It seemed like Halo, when Halo 1 and 2 came out, it was like a huge game changer for some people.
Yep.
oh yeah,
And they just flipped the script. They're like, no PS2 over here. We play Xbox.
Yeah, we don't want Crash and Spyro. We want this real life kind of not thing.
But that's kind of like what it was, though. It felt like there was like this thing, at least I know for me, being, I guess, a little bit younger, it was like, an Xbox. The Xbox was like the mature system. Like, that was like, these graphics are like real life, man. Like, you're really killing people and stuff like that. So, like, Halo came out, it was like, yeah, we don't play PS2 and what would have been GameCube over here. Like,
we don't play the kid games.
Meanwhile, I had a GameCube.
when I got out of the military, my sisters ended up getting gifted a PS2 by one of my other sisters.
Mhm.
And I went ahead and went to GameStop, and I went and got Siphon Filter, the Omega strain, because that was one of my favorite PlayStation series, was Siphon Filter.
Mhm.
And I kind of, let's just say, borrowed their PlayStation and put it in my room. And I'm more of an indoor kid, so we were having fun with that. And, and then I was always playing my Xbox, I was always going to like Blockbuster and getting games and whatnot, trying stuff out. And I've been an Xbox guy ever since.
Nice.
I'll occasionally migrate over to my Switch because I have the emulators for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that. Which means I get to play games that I played as a kid.
Nice.
Back in the 80s. Because I'm one of those old farts.
Would you say, okay, so then you probably have more context for this. Would you say that like the PS2 and the original Xbox maybe had like a similar like war battling thing as the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo and the Genesis?
Yeah. They had a console war, but even back then the consoles kind of coexisted peacefully because you had Xbox, you had PlayStation, you had Dreamcast, and then you had GameCube.
Yes.
So they coexisted peacefully. Obviously, Sega has now transitioned into making strictly games versus consoles.
Yes.
And Nintendo's still doing their thing, Sony's still doing their thing, and Microsoft's still doing their thing. And I remember Halo 2 was coming out actually around the time I was getting out of the military. And I was getting discharged, and I believe, I got that for Christmas actually. Pretty much right after we opened all our gifts, because I came home obviously living with my parents and all that, and I spent the next like week just playing that game straight, just playing the campaign because I'm a campaign guy. I'm not a multiplayer guy.
Okay. Usually it's like one or the other.
We used to play like what you would call couch co-op when I was in the Navy. We would play Halo all the time. We would just have fun with that. Like a bunch of us from my division, we would just get together and we would, go at it all night. And it was funny because it wasn't just the junior guys, it was leadership doing it too. So, I had like my chief, I had a couple of my officers, they would come in, we would invite guys from other divisions, come and chill with us and just play games all night.
See, gaming brings everyone together.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I actually met the voice of Master Chief last year. He, believe it or not, was the morning DJ on a local classic rock station. And he was at a convention I was at last year, and I got to meet him, got his autograph, and I was telling him how we used to play all the time, and he says he loves hearing about service members playing the Halo games.
Nice.
Was my audio a little low?
Yeah, it looks like your audio's a little bit low. We're all on the same level on my end. I can't like individually tweak
How about
each
now?
person. Oh, I can hear you fine. We'll have to see check, make sure they can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty awesome. Let's kind of go back, sort of. I put a post out on Facebook today, and I said, "What do you consider the most overrated console?" And like there's a few mentioned, like some modern stuff or whatever.
Don't even say it.
Well, yeah, I love the system, so I'm not saying anything negative at all.
Don't even say it.
But it was like overwhelmingly Nintendo 64. Like there was like 9 straight comments. Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64.
I only played like 1 or 2 games on the 64, and one of them was GoldenEye. That was about it, because I first came upon a 64 at a comic book convention. I'm like, ooh, so I'm playing this game, and I'm playing this game, and I'm like, how the hell do I shoot? Not knowing that there was a trigger under the controller, because the N64 had like 11,300 buttons.
11,300.
There were a lot.
It's like you have to evolve like more fingers in order to play that dang thing.
It's called skill.
Sure. Whoa.
See,
over here talking smack.
In my day, we had the Atari. We had 1 button, 1 stick, and that's the way we likes it. We had our cutting-edge graphics of the 1 square shooting a line at the other square, and you did that, and you got the highest score of 10, and you won the game.
Now that you put it that way, I think a little differently.
Because actually, my first console was an Atari 2600.
That was mine too. It shouldn't have been, but it was mine. So I had
that. I think I beat Adventure when I was like 4 years old.
Wow.
I think.
Pretty awesome.
Was I 4 or was I 5? Something like that? And then of course I go to play it again in my 40s, and I'm like, where the hell am I? I need a GPS.
What is this?
I had
They have guidebooks for this game?
I had to withstand the horrible
Wikipedia.
Pac-Man port on there. Oh my lord, that was my first Pac-Man.
Oh,
experience.
that was terrible. I played that one. That was horrible.
That's pretty bad. And then they.
I would think the best game ever.
Yeah. Okay. I think.
Yeah, I had I had the Atari, and then when I think I was 7, was my parents bought me the original Nintendo. And I remember I got the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cart. I got Pinball and Legend of Zelda.
I mean, that's all you really need.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Although,
I don't know about pinball though. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as people say.
Back then, I think
it wasn't as bad as Atari Pinball. Atari Pinball was just atrocious.
Video pinball, that was great.
Yes,
video pinball's great. I have so much. It's really not, but I have some nostalgia for it. That was one of my like 7 games I had for the 2600. So.
Yeah, I had. I'm trying to think. One of my favorites for the 2600 was actually I like bowling, because
I've never played that one actually.
It's fun once you figure out like how to do the controls, like because you have where you can just throw it in a straight line, or you can kind of control it with the joystick. Once you kind of figure that out, you're bowling a 300 game. But bowling and golf are 2 of my favorite sports in the real world, because they're the only ones where drinking is encouraged. Yeah, I don't think playing football while having a few shots of whiskey in you is all that great, because yeah. But I had that. I loved firefighting, which ended up becoming my career for a while, believe it or not. I used to love that, and I'd love for that to show up on those Atari collections.
What about the Fisher-Price? Have you guys played the Fisher-Price firefighting game?
I have the emulator, but no, I have not played it.
Yeah, don't play it.
Yeah, no.
There's no firefighting in it. You have to find keys. That's it.
I mean, granted, that was part of our job anyways, to find a key to get into a place anyways. Like, all right, trouble alarm's going off at 3 a.m. Where's the key? Click. Open up the box, get the key, open it up. Okay, what's going on in here? Oh, just a fault. Click.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. There were. I'll tell you what I really love on the 2600 that I can go back to now. I guess it's not going back, but man, some of the homebrews that come out for the system that look like they could have been on the NES or another system. It's pretty crazy. Like I cannot remember the specific title, but in 2020, my buddy picked up this fighting game for the 2600 that was a homebrew, and it looked like, I kid you not, it looked like it could have been like a high end, NES title, like a homebrew for the NES.
I'm curious what that is.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. I was like, wow, this is running on original hardware. Like, this is nuts.
Funny thing, back in the day, with the Atari, they didn't have as much regulation as they do now. So any company that could figure out how to make these games would make and sell games for the Atari, which meant you had a lot of adult titles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Custer's Revenge.
I may or may not own all of them. I may or may not own all of them.
Oh boy.
Don't worry, they're still sealed.
Hey,
don't worry.
Don't worry, I want to own them all too, so take that as you will.
So we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I believe the company was called Mystique Games, and they had a few of those. Like they had one that was kind of like Kaboom, except you were doing something else that I'm not going to repeat here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually played them all. They're nothing special. They're Atari games.
And then you had the Texas
Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah,
God,
that one. You had
Halloween.
You had Halloween. Yeah. Which Halloween was very violent for its time because when you got caught, you had the tiny little blood spurt.
Yeah,
and you just had the music playing the whole time.
Massacre. That was you're running around with your little chainsaw, even though like you could barely tell what the stuff is, but like you're still going after people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that looks like pretty graphic, and it's kind of wild that like Nintendo was the uproar, and Mortal Kombat was the uproar, and like Night Trap, like.
Oh yeah.
What about those games?
Yeah.
It was so funny.
What about Bubble Bath Babes? What about that one? And that's on NES.
Oh, now you want to talk about.
You want
to talk about some of those games? When I was in Japan, you had some of those games in the arcade, like out in the open.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, they were out in the open, but they were in the back where the kids weren't supposed to go.
Right. Was it like at least like curtained off or something?
No.
Isn't it weird that like they would always like just curtain something off from the kids? So like, oh, this is like the adult only area. And I just remember being a kid like,
it just makes
what's
that
back
makes
there?
You want to go, what's really back there?
Exactly. And then that makes you want to sneak back there. If it's like, you know what I mean? It feels like it should be like its own little like place or thing.
Like I had like one of those little mom and pop video stores by me that I rent from all the time. And they had one of those rooms, but by the time I was old enough, they'd been closed for years. By the time I had hit about 18, 19 years old, they were closed for years. But it was so funny that this place, a little side story, this place had a back room that had all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
But the owner refused to carry certain movies out in the open because they were, quote, offensive, like Dogma from Kevin Smith.
Love that
and a
movie.
few others. And I'm like, but you have an entire porn section. Why is this? Well, a comedy about. I'm like, but you have adult movies.
Yeah.
That's an impossible to find movie now because of rights issues. You cannot find that anywhere. It's not streaming. Nothing.
Yep. I was just talking to Thomas about that here recently because that's my favorite Kevin Smith movie. I like Clerks and all that stuff, but my favorite, like, I really love Chasing Amy and Dogma a lot.
Oh, Chasing Amy was a good movie.
Yeah.
I actually own I own all of the Jay and Silent Bob films with the exception of like I think one.
Yeah.
I don't own Clerks 3 yet. I've seen it, but I don't own it yet.
Yeah, I still have to see Clerks 3. I haven't watched it yet.
It is very, very good. I will tell you this. It is a well-made movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious, too.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. Have you seen it yet, Brandy? Clerks 3?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it was at the thrift. So I'm not like really collecting physical movies right now. It was at the dang thrift store. They had like $5.99 on it for the DVD. What is it?
That's where they always get you, at that thrift store.
Know it, man. I'm telling you.
Except for mine, the overpriced ones.
Mine is too. That's the prices at mine for stuff. Like I see that all. I went to, so I filmed it and everything. I've got like, full video worth. but we just had a grand opening for one of their like large size Goodwills. So like for us, it was kind of a big deal. They had like a radio station there and everything, like free hot dogs and like all this stuff going on. So I went there and I was like, all right, let's check it out. Maybe we can do something with this. I go in there and look at the prices. Nothing I found of any sort of interest was under $15. Like I took pictures of all the stuff. They had like oh god, what was it? Like they had like keyboards there that were like $19.99, like old dirty keyboards. It was crazy. Ugh. Just like these prices on.
Well, at least clean the things,
Yeah, it was wild. Like some of their shirts are $7.99 for used shirts. $7.99, and they had like I don't know, like Dairy Queen and like stupid stuff, like employee shirts, like the dumb stuff. $7.99. I'm like, yeah, I'm walking out of here. This is ridiculous.
I've gone to Goodwill to like try to find parts to put together like cosplays and whatnot, but if I'm gonna buy like used media, I generally went to was it like Disc Replay, and usually found some weird hidden gems in there.
Yeah, I don't think we have those around here.
Wait, what's it called?
Disc Replay, isn't that where you just went?
Yeah, that's what one of our videos coming up. Yeah, we went to 2 Disc Replay. I guess I'm gonna promote it here. It'll be coming up soon. 2 Disc Replays, 2 different states, same day.
Yeah,
they were good stores too, man. We took Right Way there. He's like, "Oh, this is gonna be crap." Like, he was dogging it. He goes in there. He's like, "Oh man, this is like the best thing ever." Like, makes a whole video on it. I'm like, "Yeah, these things are."
Did they have free hot dogs?
They did not have free hot dogs.
Hey,
so maybe it's not the
free
best.
Hot dogs is awesome.
Everyone is
They're all talking about them hot dogs.
I mean, that's all I heard. I didn't hear anything else you said. I was like, free hot dogs, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I can get video games and free hot dogs.
The price of things today, man. You could go there and have lunch for free. Like, it's a win.
Pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
But they wanted you to donate money. So it kind of wasn't free because I gave them money. I donated money, so it wasn't really free. But,
Oh, man.
I love it. We got some comments. Some comments in here. I can only see so many, unfortunately, on here. But the last few, we've got Millennial Collector saying, I have a few of the Kevin Smith movies. Brandon Cool said, interesting. I did not know you could chat on YouTube. Meaningful Causes Studio said, Restream Bot shows my chats interesting, but I couldn't see the other chats. Mystically, so Brandon went for the free hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. OG Bros said, count me in. Bryce is saying hello. And Carl says hello. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Carl. We're talking about free hot dogs. We're trying to see, would you rather want to win a Switch and a panel, or would you want free hot dogs? Which one is the better? Only one person wins a Switch. Everyone gets free hot dogs.
Let us know right now.
Better option. We are on to something right now.
We might be honest. We might be replacing the giveaway item with free hot dogs this weekend.
Yeah, could you imagine we show up? We're like grilling and gaming. Flipping.
Got your little chef hat on.
Yeah.
Burger time.
Yeah, kiss the cook. Not me though, but you. But kiss the cook, and then
Not me either. Dang. Oh, that is so. Yeah, we got one person. Bryce is saying Switch. Screw everyone else. OG Bros says hot dogs. Millennial Collector says I'm down for some hot dog. You're just saying that because you can't win it.
Yeah, you can't win the Switch, so you got to say hot dog.
Look, hot dogs, free hot dogs. Free food always tastes better when it's free.
Yeah,
it does. Mystically brings up a good point because I only eat beef hot dogs as well.
We're getting picky. Are they all beef? That's the only kind to get though. But
yeah, that's the only kind. Yeah, I can't do regular hot dogs.
You can't do like the weird stuff, like 30% mystery meat.
Yeah, no. It really is mystery meat too. They just grind everything together.
Well, I mean, have you guys ever seen The Great Outdoors? They actually explain what they're made out of.
A little bit of everything. I've seen too.
Lips and buttholes.
Yeah, probably.
That's
I believe that.
One of the running jokes through the movie.
I believe it. Yeah, I haven't touched a regular hot dog since. Thankfully, those are all beef.
Yeah, just
weekend, but yeah, it'd be all beef. They're a little bit more money, but I say it's worth it.
Yeah.
Carl said, I'd go the Switch as I don't have one and I eat way too many hot dogs as it is.
No such thing as too many hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've eaten too many hot dogs. Thinking inside the box.
You get like that weird headache and then you're like uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that hot dog headache.
Because I think it's more, not really the hot dogs, but the bread. I think it's all the carbs.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And then it gets you in that food coma, and then you're like done for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because bread is really just a hot dog delivery system. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, because I mean, what the hot dog buns don't taste like anything. They're not even good. You know what I mean?
Put ketchup all over my hot dog, so.
Ew, I hate ketchup.
That's what I taste. I love ketchup.
I put mustard.
When you come out here, do not put ketchup on your hot dog.
No, you get shanked for that stuff. You don't do the ketchup on hot dogs.
Yeah, you don't do ketchup on a hot dog in Chicago.
Nope, I will. I'll be that person. I keep ketchup in my car. I have ketchup in my work desk. I have ketchup everywhere. You gotta always.
That is
have
not good.
ketchup.
Yeah, how much salt is in ketchup?
I had this girl I knew came out to visit me about 12 years ago. And she'd never gone downtown, so I took her downtown. I want a Chicago-style hot dog. Okay, so I took her to a place that did a good Chicago-style. She gets Chicago-style, she gets fries and everything. We sit down, she's like, oh, can you get me some ketchup? I'm thinking, for her fries.
Yeah,
so,
the fries and the hot dog.
I get the little cup of ketchup, I sit down, and she takes the ketchup and is going to start pouring it on the hot dog. And I swear, if there was a record playing in there, you would have heard the, and you see everybody just turn and slowly look. And I'm like, she's not from around here.
Yeah. This is when you just like go and you put the ketchup on there and then it's just like slow motion, everyone's staring at you real awkward. And then you eat the hot dog and then you like lick the ketchup off your fingers and you go
and then all of a sudden cut to you're being chased by this crowd that's got pitchforks and torches in the middle of Chicago with corny getaway music playing on a banjo out of nowhere. They only start chasing us when you put on that getaway music. Click.
Yeah.
We stop.
And then you're running and like ketchup packets are falling out of your pocket. You're like throwing it back and they're slipping on them like Donkey Kong style with the bananas, but it's like ketchup packets. Look, there you go. That could be a whole game. If someone wants the hot dog chase, someone should make that game, set it in Chicago, have ketchup packets is like a whole thing. That's like $1 million video game right there.
The Hot Dog Junction Podcast?
Yeah, you heard it here first. That is the hot dog chase. If someone could make my dreams alive and have the best video game ever, I would definitely buy at least one copy.
Oh my god.
I like that. At least one copy.
Mystically's in here being all bougie. He's like, I only eat my hot dogs on croissant.
What? You gotta do the potato roll.
You gotta have beef hot dogs. It's gotta be croissant.
Potato rolls.
Yeah.
Ooh, la-di-da. A croissant. What do you call it? Hot dog bun.
Mustard and onions. And, we call them American hot dogs.
Onions. We do mustard, onion, relish, pickle, sport pepper, celery salt, and tomato. Of course, I don't do tomato because I liken that to ketchup.
I've had a Chicago hot dog from Sonic, and they put all that on it. It was
That sounds terrible.
It wasn't great. I didn't like it.
Ketchup. That's all.
Just mustard over here.
There's a place by Guaranteed Rate Field where the White Sox play that if you're over the age of 10 and you ask for ketchup on your hot dog, you have to ring the bell of shame.
That's fine. I'll ring the bell. I don't care.
She's already.
she's gonna look the guy dead in the eye and just go, ding, ding.
Got for free ketchup.
I like ketchup.
Ring, ring. I'll even wear a shirt that says "I love ketchup" when I go there, and then it'll be I Heart Chicago, but it'll cross out Chicago, but ketchup.
She just lost any chance of ever being invited to Chicago for anything.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be invited, but that's okay because I'll stay over here and eat my ketchup hot dogs. Thank you.
Oh, we got Millennial saying, super fancy mystically. Carl said we have tomato or barbecue sauce, mustard, and onions as standard on hot dogs in our country. But y'all will laugh at this.
On a hot dog sounds good.
We call them American hot dog. Yeah, that's funny. And then mystically said, I eat my taco meat in a hot dog bun. OG Bro said, you can't
that man there is living in 3023 right there.
I mean, that might not be bad. Like, like making it sort of like a taco. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it, but Carl said
I find very odd ways to eat food sometimes, and then I will have my wife just look at me like, why are you doing this? I decided to try to gross out my coworkers one day. I got Jimmy John's at work because I couldn't leave, so I got it delivered. So I'm ordering through the app, and they're like, "Do you want anything extra on there?" So I got like the roast beef sandwich, the Hunters Club, and I asked them to put tuna on it. And I said it was a surf and turf sandwich, and one of the girls was watching me eat this, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "You've known me how long? You have to ask these questions?"
That's funny.
I like to mess with my coworkers on occasion. One day, I brought in this tiny little Doom Eternal lunchbox, like probably about that big, filled it with loose Triscuits. Walked in, sat down at the lunch table, opened it up, and just started eating Triscuits like it was nothing, and just scrolling on my phone.
That's funny. Carl said he would be ringing that bell like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. OG Bros said, I am in Norway now, and they have hot dog wrapped in bacon. They call it bacon peas.
Wait.
He said it is so good.
Hot dog wrapped in bacon. I'm booking a trip to Norway?
Well, we do that all the time here. Hot dogs wrapped in bacon.
Bacon and everything, and then you deep fry it, and it's great.
The three things that, basically, when you think about it, a corn dog is just a meat Twinkie.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
But the three things you can add to any food and
Ketchup.
make it awesome. No. Cheese, bacon, jalapenos.
Ketchup.
I substitute the jalapenos and put ketchup, and then we're talking.
See, jalapenos are awesome. I used to get jalapeno cheeseburgers at White Castle, and I'd put a little barbecue sauce on them. Because when I worked there, I used to get to eat free. So I have an immunity to them. They can no longer mess with my stomach.
Yeah.
So do you just dislike ketchup? You just don't like ketchup?
I like ketchup. It's just it doesn't belong in a hot dog.
I don't. I hate ketchup.
I put it on a lot of different foods that we won't talk about on air.
Listen, my sister would put it on macaroni and cheese as a kid.
Yeah,
so she loves ketchup. She put on everything. Pizza, everything. Yeah.
It's like Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I should be like the person advocating for ketchup. One of my favorite gifts ever was a whole big packet thing of ketchups. It was like 200 ketchup packets.
Hey.
And it was better than anything that I've ever gotten.
Y'all remember the Heinz blue and green ketchup?
I do. I remember the purple ketchup.
Yeah, purple. Yeah, they have purple too.
It was like bird crap. It was not good.
I don't like ketchup anyway. It looked terrible.
See, the three foods that my wife just gets so grossed out about me eating: sardines,
ew,
herring.
That's pretty gross, man.
Ew.
And blue cheese.
That's gross
those
too.
are all terrible. Even with ketchup, they're all bad.
Hey, look,
Blue
Thomas
cheese.
said he likes sardines on pizza, so
Sardines are. Oh, I've never had anchovies on pizza. I will. Well, the other thing that grosses
anchovies.
out,
Anchovies.
I will eat pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, pineapple and ham on pizza is perfect.
I don't hate it, but it's definitely not my go-to. I don't.
But it's
ordering
not
it.
as weird as those mayonnaise and peas people on pizza.
What?
There are people who actually put mayonnaise and peas on pizza.
No.
Oh.
Those people should be locked up in the deepest, darkest holes, and the key thrown away, buried, and just forgotten about.
Yeah, that's pretty violent.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. That's a little extreme, but
peas and they should be put on a special island. The people who eat peas and mayonnaise on pizza.
Yeah, that's a weird combination. I don't know.
The greatest combination
Did you see
That
this
must
on
be
Reddit or
Chicago.
something? 'Cause I've never
That
heard of
must be a
this.
Chicago thing.
Oh yeah,
No,
probably.
I found that on Facebook.
Yeah, that's your
But
problem. Don't believe anything on Facebook.
Now, a great combination I've actually tried on pizza: Italian beef and hot giardiniera.
What?
It's like combining an Italian beef sandwich with pizza. It's perfect.
Huh.
I like
have to-
I like taco pizza.
That's
that
always
weird?
good too, depending on how it's made.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
taco.
know what that is.
Oh, the
How
other
does-
thing my wife
I don't
hates.
explain it.
She hates when I eat lengua tacos.
What's that? What's a
Go and
lingua?
try it, and then I'll tell you afterwards.
I don't get it.
It's beef tongue.
Oh, that's
Ew,
disgusting.
no. No.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's the
I'll
tastiest
pass on all
taco.
the weird stuff. Like I'll just eat the normal stuff.
It's
forever.
the tastiest taco. Can taste you right back.
Ugh, yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. No.
Like if you didn't know what it was, you'd be like, "This is the most delicious thing ever." And then as soon as you find out it's tongue, you're like, "Forget it."
No, because I always like look at the items. I like sniff the food. Like I gotta know before.
I think you would like taco pizza. Let's try it when you come here, because like everywhere has it.
Like at Taco Bell, it's what they call like their Mexican
No.
pizza.
No, this is more like I don't know. Like some places have it better than others, but like we even have like frozen options for like taco pizza here, so it's like pretty common. But it's good. Like I said, some places are better than others, but
Look it up.
it's pretty good.
You know, I just start experimenting in the kitchen some days, and then, you know, I'm surprised I'm still married sometimes.
Me too. When you're talking about beef tongues and sardines,
Oh, she
Yeah, I'm
she
a little
gets so
concerned
grossed out.
for y'all.
I feel bad for your wife.
She
Yeah.
gets so grossed out. She's like, "But why?" And I'm like, "Because it's delicious."
Yeah.
You know.
That's like my
No.
uncle. He always it was so weird. So like all the stuff that you're mentioning, I never heard the word that you said for the beef tongue, but like
Yeah.
I saw like I mean he would eat like lamb brains and like all this weird stuff
I
from
used
the
to eat
store.
beef fed
Like
tacos.
pig's feet, pickled pig's feet and stuff like that. He would
Yeah.
eat all that weird stuff. And I'm like, that's just so disgusting. Like I'll just stick with I'll eat ketchup before I eat this stuff, right? And I hate ketchup. Linguea.
It just
How do you say it? Linguea?
lengua.
Lengua,
Yes.
It's
tongue tacos. No.
So that's like a whole thing. That's like like the whole taco and the tongue is called lingua.
No, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just-
it might be good with some ketchup on it though.
You never
I don't
know.
No.
Ketchup fixes all.
It really does, though. It really does.
Hey, we had 100 chat comments. Awesome. Well, let's
Wow, that's not bad.
let's move a little away from the lingua and the ketchup, and
Yeah.
let's talk a little more games. So are you actively like collecting any video games or anything like that right now? Or are you playing them?
Mostly playing, you know. I wish I could collect, but my collections generally aim towards like the Funko Pops,
Mhm.
retro toys. You know, the only way I would collect games is if I also had a way to play them. Because to me, if I don't want my games to just sit on a shelf. That I want to play with them. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Only,
those darn shelf collectors. Ruining the whole hobby.
I'm telling you,
you know.
they're the worst.
I mean,
Play games.
I had to cut my comic book habit because I was so backed up on books that I haven't read, you know, and it was costing me, money.
Yeah, no, that was why I quit collecting comics too. There were too many books coming out because I was like getting them every week, every Wednesday. I was picking up my books and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't keep up. Yeah, I
I mean,
couldn't keep up. There's
Deadpool
like
alone
this
had, like, 4
storyline
books.
here, 50 storylines just to connect to this one whole storyline. Like all these crazy Marvel events, and like I just couldn't
Yeah.
do it no more. They want you.
I just
They'd want you to read 50 books a week just to be able to keep
Yeah.
up with this one storyline. I'm like,
You're like,
yeah, I'm
like,
gonna pass.
What's going on here? Wait, wrong issue. What? I thought this guy was dead. No, wait. Oh my God.
He's back. He was just dead 2 issues ago.
Deadpool had like I think 5 books at one point.
Yeah, it's wild. I can
I would
remember
get-
Superman having 7 at one point. Whenever
Oh yeah,
maybe it was
Spider-Man had, like,
Crisis
4.
on Infinite Earth or something. Or New
Yeah.
52. It might have been New
New
52.
52. Yeah,
That's where I dropped off all DC, and then just shortly after with Marvel. But I'm like, I cannot keep up with this. This is crazy. And then
like
I read some of Rebirth too, a little bit, but
I was reading Deadpool, and then I was reading like Ghostbusters because, well, child of the '80s, I grew up loving Ghostbusters. I got so excited when they released that for the Xbox for the 360.
yeah.
I went to the midnight release for that.
Oh, really?
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and that's a funny story. The GameStop that I went to the midnight release for, this was about 3 years before I met my wife. My wife worked at the grocery store, like 2 stores down from that GameStop, and she saw us going into this thing, and she was telling me when we were dating, she says, "What kind of people go to a game store at midnight?" And then
Weirdos.
our third date ended up being the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 midnight release. I'm sorry, it was our second date. Our third date was Skyfall.
Oh, I went to the midnight release for this Knuckles Soccer. I've loved this game. I waited in line for 4 hours for the release of this.
There was, I remember
Who does
when
that?
I remember when the
Weirdos.
Super Nintendo Mini came out, and like I'm not expecting to get one because they were all pre-sold, pre-ordered, whatever. I'm driving home from work at like 5:30 in the morning, and I pass by a GameStop, and I see these guys sitting out there, and it's like ice cold, and I'm like, and I go over there, and I'm like, see if these guys are okay, because I'm a paramedic. And I'm
Yeah.
like going over to see if these guys are okay. And I'm like, "Are you guys okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just waiting for GameStop to open." I'm like, "Bro, they don't open for like 5 more hours. Like, what is that important?" And they mentioned the Nintendo, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm waiting until they like re-release that or something." So I go home, not thinking about it, thinking like, why are these people that insane that they're at a GameStop 5 hours before it opens? And then Amazon used to have this thing called Treasure Truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they would send texts and they'd say, "Oh, we have this thing on sale at Treasure Truck." I get a text from them saying Super Nintendo Mini, and I'm like, buy it. And I had to drive downtown because they didn't have it coming to my suburb at the time because it was still new. So I had to drive into downtown Chicago to go get it. And my wife's like, don't mess with my emotions. Don't tell me we really have this thing when you're just messing with me." I get home, I take a picture of it, send it to her, and she's like, "Okay, you don't plug it in until I get home, though."
Yeah, those were wild. Those minis, man. People, those were going for over double for a while.
Oh yeah,
They were
Reseller
like
market. It was
a big thing.
yeah, it's
like
crazy.
people were buying them, and people were buying them, like pre-ordering them, and then they were putting the receipts on eBay saying, "Oh, like you can buy it for $400." I'm like, are you nuts?
Well, they're still doing that. They were doing that for all these new systems too.
That's with the new systems, like with the Xbox One. I think I waited like a year or so after it came out before I bought one because I figured work all the bugs. The market will have calmed down by then. When the Series X come out, what, like 2 years ago?
Yep.
I just got one 2 weeks ago
2020.
because I noticed that they were, they're starting to wind down support for the One and all that. Everything's starting to transition to Series X, Series S. Might as well.
Yeah, they're everywhere now. Thankfully, I mean, I wish they would have been like way sooner because people were still, paying the upcharges on them and like I
won't do that.
Yeah, I always tell everybody not to do that either. I think it's crazy. But the Series X, so for that, I waited in line for 6 hours just for the pre-order day. So that wasn't even the to get it day. That was the day that you could pre-order it. But I wasn't the only one. There was like 20 people there. And then
That's wild.
but thankfully by doing that, I got to wait, when it wasn't as cold, and then in November when people were waiting out to get the systems in, I didn't have to wait. Like I just walked up and got it. So I kind of did. But like the PS5, I was able to get online 2 days after it came out. So I was like, oh man, maybe I could have avoided doing that with the Xbox.
People just have to be, patient with things,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the same time be like persistent on, like, trying to actually get it instead of, like, looking for someone to pay double, triple the prices,
I have it now.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I would
that's
never.
wild. I would not pay that. I don't have money like that, just to throw 3 times the. If I
It's
paid, like,
crazy.
3 times the amount of everything that it's worth, I'd have probably, like, 1 or 2 bookshelves. I wouldn't have an entire house of games. Like, you have to be patient, and you have to know where to find the deals at.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, like, what was it with the Nintendo Mini when they re-released it? Like, I'm like, you know what? If I can get it, great. If not, and I remember going to Best Buy because I had to. I was buying something, an accessory for something else, like a replacement for something, and I misread it on my phone, thinking, oh, they opened it this time. And I walk up there and I'm like, okay, first off, they're closed, and why is there a line outside? So I go and I talk to somebody. It says, it's weird to have a line outside of Best Buy 15 minutes before they open. Is like, what's so important? Or is this just people waiting to get in? Oh, they got the Nintendo. But I guess what they happened was the night before they gave out tickets to like the people who were gonna get it,
Mhm.
which I think it was like half of them were staff anyways. So that's kind of BS right there. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I'm just kind of hanging out there because it was a nice day to get some fresh air. Door opens and these people all go in, and the manager comes out and he says, yeah, well, telling people how they weren't going to get the Nintendo. And I'm like, that's a wrong way to handle this.
Yeah.
Why not just put up signage saying this is how we get it? And I pulled the guy aside after the crowd went, and I said, dude, that was not the way to handle it. These people are getting rowdy. He says, well, corporate says there's only certain ways I can do it. I'm like, well, corporate's a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I eventually got one when they were coming out. I pre-ordered it straight from Nintendo. And
That's pretty cool.
again, it was another one of those situations where I got it. I had it sent to a UPS store because I didn't want it sitting out in the sun and, because I was going to be gone all day on a 24-hour shift. I go and I pick it up, and my wife said the same thing. Not until I get home from work do you plug it in. I get first dibs on Excite Bike.
That's awesome. So it sounds like she enjoys playing games as well.
She does.
Okay, that's good.
Her big game is Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yes, I
Okay.
actually have that downloaded on the Xbox. I haven't tried it yet.
I've heard it's good.
It's,
I love
it's
Disney.
pretty cool for her at this point because she played it so much. She got ahead of the missions, all the new quests being released. So she's got just treasure chests, like rooms full of treasure chests that she's collecting stuff and just putting in. And I jokingly call it her organizing game. Because she's like, okay, well, I have all this in here. I got to put it all in here. And I'm like, it's like to the point where she's putting on the game and I'll sit in my recliner and just.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
you gotta enjoy it though. That's the best part about gaming is everyone can play their own little thing and play their own little way, and it all works out.
Yeah, even if it's Brandy and playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, I love me some Candy Crush.
Like the first year I did Extra Life. She's like, well, I want to do it too. Okay, fine. We were kind of trying to either play together or play like separately. But she ended up, she's like, yeah, no, I can't do 24 hours of this. So it just became me, and she ended up becoming my support person,
Nice.
making sure that I'm eating, that I'm staying hydrated, that I'm taking breaks, somewhat managing my social media, which you would think is dangerous to let your wife manage your social media for you.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see what he's posting. Who's this?
Might get you in trouble.
No, I keep my social media very clean. I try to avoid doing anything stupid because
it's all out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of got to watch what you say. So some of the
Exactly.
people that like to comment rude things, we're watching you.
We see ya.
That's like my last podcast episode. I did Wolfenstein. I had to refer. I played it safe, and I made sure not to refer to the enemy soldiers as to what they actually were, because especially if I eventually put the episode on YouTube, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah,
they would take it down.
Yeah.
So I referred to their leader as Goofy Mustache Guy or Bizarro Charlie Chaplin.
Mhm.
That's a good name, I guess.
Yeah,
Bizarro.
because believe it or not, that's why he's got it, because he thought, if I look like Charlie Chaplin, people will love me. I said, no, you're looking goofy, dude. That's
Yeah.
why the Three Stooges were able to make fun of him so easily.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
and that's the thing, is like my next one that I'm working on is going to be about the works of Jonan Vasquez, who I don't know if you know who that is. He created a cartoon both of you might know, Invader Zim.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that show.
But prior to that, he did comic books. And his most famous one, you would call it, is a book called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
I feel like I've heard
Which,
of that.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
it's one of those books that you kind of...
Emo kids loved it.
It to a point it was funny, because I read it. I actually have the collection.
Mhm.
I understand a little bit where Johnny was coming from, but the thing was he wasn't... Spoiler alert, he wasn't fully crazy. His house was possessed, and he was trying to keep it from destroying the world.
Hmm.
Yeah, they took parts of that book and used it in, what is that show? It's like a horror series, but like the first season was kind of sort of based on that. It's like season one. I just remember the season was called Murder House or something. But there was this big show. I think it's still kind of big. I remember what it's called. Dang it.
Yeah, but it was such a funny
show.
book. And they actually had two spin-offs. They had one about his little neighbor kid, who he only knew as Squee, because the first time he met the kid, he says, "Well, what's your name?" And the kid
American Horror
is scared, and he goes,
Yeah.
and then about one of his victims that got away, and it was called "I Feel Sick."
Huh.
But Invaders, I didn't learn about Invader Zim until I was in the Navy, and I ended up picking it up, and it's just gold. It's comedy gold.
I loved it until all the emo kids started having it all over their clothes and stuff. Same with Nightmare Before Christmas. It made me hate both of them.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And all they wore.
Hot Topic, the movie.
Hot Topic, the movie. Exactly. Yeah.
Talking Hot Topic is literally like everything.
Yeah,
Everything. Yeah.
It's like, hi, welcome to Hot Topic. What Nightmare Before Christmas item would you like today?
We got purses. We got pants.
I really thought that they were gonna make it for every holiday. You know, like when they're like in the forest with all the trees.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like have a sequel to that.
Thought they were gonna do that.
And you know the funny thing is, I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas all the way through. I've only seen it in like chunks.
Okay.
I think it's I like it, but I think it's massively overrated. Personally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like as great as people make it.
I used to shop at Hot Topic for band T-shirts, funny T-shirts, and a few years ago when it was really a hot commodity, I bought a lot of Doctor Who stuff from there.
Okay.
Because I'm a big
yeah.
I'm a big Doctor Who fan. My wife got me into it actually, and fun fact: Matt Smith was actually my wingman when I proposed to my wife in 2014.
Oh, that's very cool. That was the season I did watch. I watched his season and then whatever the Doctor that was right after that. I got into it for
Peter
a very
Capaldi?
Yeah, I got into it very short period of time. Like it
Yeah.
I got out of it pretty quick.
I didn't see any of this last season because it's just life kind of got in the way, and then it sucked because it wasn't on anything like streaming.
Isn't it a female Doctor now?
She just actually left.
Okay.
It's hitting their 60th anniversary this November. And what they did was, so I think you know about how the Doctor works is he gets sick, injured, too old, he regenerates. So they're bringing back David Tennant, who was the 10th incarnation of the Doctor.
Oh, nice.
But he's going to be the 14th. And that's like a bridge to what's going to be the 15th. Who, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the guy's name for the life of me. Once I hear it a bunch, I will understand it. But I'm looking forward to it. Jodie Whittaker did a good job as the Doctor. She's very fun. And, it's like I met a lot of the actors for Doctor Who. You know, not just the first 3 doctors have been long passed away,
Yeah.
but I've met the 5th Doctor, who strangely enough is David Tennant's father-in-law, the 10th Doctor's father-in-law in real life.
I've
I
read
met
about
him.
that.
I met the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. He was actually my first Doctor. He was from the much maligned Fox Movie of the Week backdoor pilot they made in the late 90s. And everybody always talks garbage about that movie. So, for a Doctor Who actor to hear that they were your first Doctor, you were the one that brought someone into the fandom, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So when I told him when I met him, you were my first Doctor, his big smile comes across his face. He gives me a big
like
hug.
Pediatrician?
No,
Just
like my first, yeah. And a big smile comes across his face, gives me a big old hug, and he whispers in my ear, "You never forget your first." My wife lost her mind right there, just laughing.
It's kind of creepy.
It was hilarious, you know. But
the last thing I watched was Day of the Doctor. That was the
Day of the Doctor is very good. That was my wife and I went there. Let's see, that was a couple of years before we got married. It was right after we I think it was right after we started dating, if I remember right. It was the 50th, or where were we? God, I'm trying to remember. I think that was about around the time where I decided that I wanted to marry her. But you know, we'd been together for about a year at that point. So,
yeah,
you know, and you know, that was like our Sunday night would be sitting down to watch Doctor Who.
That's pretty cool.
You know. And it's coming to Disney Plus this year.
I just saw
Disney's
that.
got a deal with them, yeah.
Literally saw that right before. That's pretty crazy. That'll be interesting. I wonder if that'll bring a load of new fans.
Hopefully, because
sure it will.
Especially if they have the classic stuff up, that would be amazing. You know, because I haven't seen a whole lot of classic because it's just finding it.
They need to put. They have the rights to Lost in Space. They need to put the original Lost in Space up on there. I think it's crazy.
Lost in Space is a fun show because that Dr. Smith, he's just something else.
I like Lost in Space.
That was actually that was on last night before I went to bed. I was watching it.
It's a good show. I grew up watching that one. So, is there any games that you're playing currently on your Series X? Or?
Well, I'm playing Tom Clancy's The Division, or Division 2. I'm playing NHL 23, and I just downloaded last night, but haven't gotten to it. Return to Monkey Island.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. Is it on Game Pass?
It is.
Is it really? I'll check.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. I had The Secret of Monkey Island on my Xbox or on my PC back in the day.
Yeah, same.
I had a friend who had like a LucasArts collection, and I think I installed like 4 of the games on. I put on Secret of Monkey Island, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Loom.
Yes, I remember that one.
Okay.
But
Loom was a fun game.
Return to Monkey Island's better. So,
I haven't played Return to Monkey Island. I've played Secret of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge.
Oh, nice.
You know, because I have them both on my Xbox, believe it or not.
That's pretty cool.
And then I've been looking forward to Return to Monkey Island, and I'm like, yes! And then I saw it was for Series X, Series S, and I'm like, aw. Now that I got it, I might even play it tonight before I go to bed.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, I loved Secret of Monkey Island because it had such goofy like little twists to it and little references that kids today wouldn't get.
I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you played it since you just got your Series X, but Sea of Thieves is doing like a crossover game with Monkey Island. I don't know if you saw that, but it was in their last event they held. I streamed it. Yeah,
who's doing that?
It's like a Sea of Thieves, Secret Monkey Island like crossover game. So it's like an expansion or something. Sea of Thieves. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. But we got a few more comments we'll hit up here before we end the podcast tonight. We've got Thinking Inside the Box, Invader Zim is the GOAT. Someone mentioning American Horror Story. Got Carl saying Paul McGann is such a nice guy. I met him a few years back and he was lovely. And then Crisciola said, as long as they don't do what they did to the Willow series, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I didn't
was
even get a
not
chance
cool.
to see the Willow series before they got rid of it. And I was so mad because
Mm.
I loved Willow as a child.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And you know what? Hot take, good game too.
Yeah, the Nintendo game was. I mean, I didn't pick it up too much as a kid. The arcade game was a lot of fun.
I've not played the arcade game.
When you get a chance and you're back out here, Galloping Ghost has it.
What style of game is it then?
It's like a hack and slash.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
It's
that
Yeah.
Galloping Ghost has some fun stuff. Actually, they even have a game on Steam.
What? Galloping Ghost does?
Mm-hmm. So there was this game that was made in the '80s but never released called The Spectre Files: Deathstalker. It was made by Brian Cullen, one of the creators of Rampage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so he filmed this whole thing. It was like supposed to be a Laserdisc game. And then Bally Midway was like, oh yeah, we're not doing Laserdiscs anymore. So it kind of sat in his garage for years. And he just mentioned it to Doc, the owner of Galloping Ghost. And Doc says, bring the stuff by. We'll finish it. They finished it about 5 years ago, put it out as an arcade cabinet. And then about 3 years ago, I love this game. My wife and I would sit there and play this game at the arcade. We just thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. You know, because it's so silly. It's a choose your own adventure interactive.
So
film.
it's like Dragon.
Like Dragon's Lair, except
Yeah,
you're actually making the choices instead of hoping to God you get that joystick in the right spot.
Yeah, because that was also laser. You know, those were Laserdiscs arcade,
Yeah.
so all those sort of style.
So in I want to say like 18 or 19, they put it out on Steam for like $10, and my wife was like, wait, what? It's gonna be? I'm like, yep. She's like, okay, you buy that, and it's on my laptop, and I play it all the time.
You buy it now.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun, and I got my 2 5-year-old nieces into it. You know, playing it on the laptop, and they refer to it as scary game or zombie game. And my one niece claims she's so scared of it, but I take my nieces to Galloping Ghost, and she sees and she's, I want to play. Okay, I pop the stool up, put her on top, and she just has fun with it. And I help her pick sometimes because I know where the really funny moments are that a 5-year-old would enjoy.
That's awesome.
I'm getting the new generation into the arcade scene.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's the way to work.
Go out there. I'm excited. 1, because it's Galloping Ghost, and 2, because you guys have the best hot dogs with ketchup.
You won't be going anytime soon.
If someone would like to invite me out to experience that, I would love it.
Actually, how much do you like burgers?
I do like burgers.
They have an excellent burger place by Galloping Ghost called Burger Antics.
Do they have ketchup?
They were talking about that at VGS.
Well, they make their own ketchup in house.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good. They make a lot of stuff in house over there. The first time I went there was their burger of the week was a Bob's Burgers burger called the Baby You Can Chive My Car. Now this place is a little bit pricier, but you get what you pay for.
Well, if they got ketchup, I'm in.
They got ketchup. They make their own ketchup.
I'll try it.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. That she wants to get invited out and bring ketchup to Chicago. So,
yeah. Chicago is missing out.
Ketchup is good for French fries and tater tots,
and everything else. And everything else.
Oh boy, what a podcast episode! Well, we appreciate having you on, man. This was a great episode, a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you for having me on. You know, I really appreciate you guys having me on. It was a blast.
Yeah,
we have a couple community questions.
Oh yeah, we do. I apologize.
Oh,
sorry.
Let's get to those.
I swear, I did not make these up either. Okay, ready?
She said it in a way like.
No, you'll know. You'll know.
Okay.
I'll save that one. I'll save that one for last.
All right.
Now, mind you, these questions came in way before this podcast. So, first question is for someone named Brandon. I'm not sure who that is. What upcoming releases in the next 2 months are you looking forward to in media, games, movies, etc.? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, duh. Ain't that coming up soon?
The movie, yeah. I mean,
I'm
it's already.
Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah,
like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting ready to drop. Yeah,
I'm
I'm excited about that too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much that's what I thought of.
That's it?
Yeah. That's what I got.
That's what the heck? Okay. Well, that's a great answer.
What about you guys?
I'm waiting for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Yeah, that too.
Jeez, that's why I was saying that. I'm like, you're not looking forward to that?
Oh,
What is that?
I've already got a pre-order. Why do you think I bought the Series X?
Yeah.
That's October, right?
September 19th.
Yeah.
Okay, September.
So,
Okay, I'm
just a
getting
few
all my
months.
months confused here.
Yeah, you are. Oh, I'm not looking forward to anything else.
Talk about ketchup, I get confused.
Oh, she's gonna go to bed tonight going, ketchup.
I wish I was Ketchup's girl.
Oh man.
Ketchup. Ketchup.
Alright, so TMNT, Mortal Kombat, anything else?
Let me think here. There's
No,
another
it's not.
Tekken 8.
Oh yeah, Tekken 8's coming out.
Tekken 8 is just right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to that. So
There's
definitely other stuff. I can't. There's so many things that like it almost becomes like overload.
I'm waiting for the Metal Gear collection in October.
That's one thing.
Oh god.
I'll also add in Pikmin because it just dropped like 2 days ago. I just haven't picked it up. I'm waiting for a price drop on that one, I'm sure, but
Smart.
yeah. I was checking over here to mention a few other things just to make sure there's nothing like significant in the next month or so.
I'm seeing the Barbie movie tomorrow.
Dude, it is so good. I went with my daughter, right? Like she wanted to watch it, but it actually ended up being very get out. No, it's like very like pop culture heavy, like very Mattel heavy, like just super funny, man. And it's not for kids. It realistically is not for kids.
That's what I found out. It's not for kids.
It is not for kids, but thankfully, like she just didn't understand most of the stuff that they said, so it was okay. But yeah, it's not for kids.
Does Barbie end up with somebody who's anatomically correct?
Not really. But she does say, I mean, like the P word and the V word, like just straight up says both of them. Like I don't have this or this. Like says I'm like
that was the previews, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa! And I didn't watch any previews because it's the Barbie movie. I didn't care. She wanted to go, and I had to go. So, like, but no, it realistically, like, guys, whoever, it doesn't matter. Like, it was pretty funny. I liked it, but I didn't want to mention a few things. I did pull up a few things. Super Bomberman R2, which is September 12th, is one that I had on the list, and then also Baldur's Gate 3 is another big one,
Ooh.
and the new Harvest Moon. So those were a few that are coming out here soon.
Yeah, those are pretty notable.
Yeah. And then, of course, what do you guys think about this? I love my sports games. So what do you think about this being the first year there's no... What are you laughing about?
Yeah, because you're like a sports specialist, especially when I'm editing some
you guys,
videos. And I'm like,
y'all
hey,
coined the term?
all that. Delete.
No, it's not being called FIFA anymore. Now the name is Sports FC. What the heck does that mean? What does Sports FC mean? Football club?
Oh, football club, because that's what they call them in the football world.
Dude, we're getting an Inspector Gadget game called Mad Time Party.
What?
I didn't know about this, and it comes out in September.
Dude.
I didn't know about it either, but I was just playing through the Super Nintendo version of that, and they don't even have the theme song. So, like, this game better have the theme song to it.
Oh yeah, it better.
Yeah, like, what?
Inspector Gadget.
I've been waiting my whole life for this. This is
how did
crazy.
I forget about this? Armor Core 6, too. Of course, that comes out in August. Yeah, that's another one, so...
Yeah, we'll have to do like a whole big thing on upcoming releases when we do.
Yeah, we'll see if it ever happens. You were all excited about one thing.
It happened. All right, another question. Gerbert Alice 13 said, "Do you do any video game reselling? If you don't, how do you view flipping games?"
Well, to be honest, like obviously I don't do it, but I mean, that's just like flipping houses or flipping cars. You buy a game that might be damaged or not in the greatest condition. You clean it up, you make sure it works, and as long as you sell it for a fair price, who am I to complain?
Yeah. I feel like so many people do it, and game stores essentially do it, and now people do this whole business out of their house. There's a difference between...
There's like scummy reselling, and then there's reselling. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a difference. Like, you can't go up to a video game vendor and be like, hey, I really want to play this game. This is for me and my collection. Can I get it for this price? And then you turn around and you sell it because you got a great deal. Like, you don't do that.
No, you don't.
There's also with the new consoles, like, I don't like that either. Buying it straight out of the big box store and then selling it for 3 times the price.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No.
That's crazy.
There's a special circle in hell for those people.
Yeah. But no, reselling in general, because I mean, look, I do some reselling on the side, and 2018 through 2021, I did it heavily, so just buying up lots, and I would keep what I wanted, and so basically pay for whatever I paid for the lot, and then, sell the other things, or trade them. I do a lot of trading, too.
Yeah, trading with friends if you get duplicates or whatever. I used to always pass on this. I would see a bundle lot, and I would only need 5 of the games out of the 20.
Yeah.
And I would pass on it for so many years. And then during COVID and stuff, I was like, everyone else does it, so I did it a few times, and then I would just trade with a buddy, and then I grew my collection crazily. And I'm
exactly.
If I did this the whole time, I would have 5 houses.
Yeah, no, it's probably good that you didn't do it the whole time.
Yeah.
It would have been so bad.
That's right. But no, seriously, that's how you build a good collection, and that's how you do it on a budget, and that's how you can afford to do it, right? That, honestly. I don't see it. There's no problems with reselling. Just don't be scummy. That's all I say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another question. Catching Daisies 332 said, what 3 franchises deserve the video game treatment in 29-23?
I don't know. See Pokemon, Mortal Kombat.
So what, are we talking so many years from now they should still be around? Is that
or I think they might have tried to type 2023 and mistyped.
Oh. Maybe that's it. Okay, so what about F-Zero? Can that game come back?
It should.
That needs to come back.
It should.
Yeah, so that's my answer. I can't think of 3, but that's one.
I've only played.
She always just cut out of the questions. I got one thing. I ain't answering your 3.
That's what I can answer. You want 3? I'll give you 1.
Let's see. I used to make up, when they used to have guesses for the Monday Mystery Game at Galloping Ghost, I would make up the most ridiculous stuff possible. I had the Wondrous Adventures of Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. But what would...
Castlevania.
Castlevania needs to come back.
Yeah.
They haven't had one in since about 12 years ago?
It's been a long time. Yeah, that Lords of Shadow 2, that was the last actual. We got a weird mobile one at some point a few years ago, but it was I don't even count that. So an actual Castlevania, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It would be fun to see. Honestly, I think I wonder how a John Wick game would work.
We have one. John Wick Hex.
There was?
Yeah, it's for PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah. It's not good. I'll tell you that.
Figured.
It's not good. It's a $10, $15 game. But they are doing another John Wick game, a AAA studio game. This one was made by I don't know. It was a lower budget, that Hex game. But this got announced in the Xbox Direct too, where they're doing a AAA studio, full budget John Wick game. So that'll be cool.
There are a couple classic franchises that deserve a second shot at games. Not even franchises. Just
Elevator Action.
Elevator Action was a good one.
Yeah.
There was back in the 90s, they had a Total Recall Nintendo game.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think they'd be able to do a good job with that now, with the story and all that. Because I remember they did, what was it, the Bourne Conspiracy, where they did everything from just before the Bourne Identity, like the mission that got him into his situation to like basically the game and then or the movie and then after, and it was a lot of fun. I liked it, but I think they could do something with say Total Recall, maybe a new Predator game because they're churning out Aliens games. Why not Predator?
True.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, we do have that Hunting Grounds game, which is on PS4 and Xbox One, but it's not necessarily my style of game. So it'd be cool to get like a cool like full story, single player sort of. Yeah,
maybe a better Nightmare on Elm Street would be another good one.
Oh, true.
That'd be cool. I mean, we're getting ready to get that Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. So that's pretty
I forgot
crazy.
about that.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
The original Texas Chainsaw movie was just unnerving as all. Just
it still holds up. That movie is phenomenal.
Oh,
just about every sequel was terrible, but
the second one wasn't bad.
I love them.
There's a few I do like that most people hate.
Dumbest things, but I love them.
Yeah, the one called Just Texas Chainsaw that came out in maybe like 2016. I like that one. Most people hated that movie.
Oh, okay.
It was actually called Texas Chainsaw 3D. It was like the original title, and then they cut it down.
They had Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, which had Renee Zellweger and
Matthew McConaughey.
And the funny part was they weren't big stars when that was made.
It was his first movie.
Matthew McConaughey, when he became big, all of a sudden they're trying to market him as like the star of the movie, and I think he was trying to keep them from like, no, I do not want to be associated with that.
He didn't want to have anything to do with that movie.
Yep.
It was like Susan Sarandon with Rocky Horror.
I know a guy that ran a convention, and he tried to invite him out to talk about that, and he completely just declined.
Yeah.
So. What about Earthbound? What about Earthbound? We need Earthbound.
Oh god, yeah, we do need another Earthbound.
Long overdue.
20 years overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good set of games.
Well, that's good. That's way more than 3, so that's a great answer.
We came up with a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, so take notes.
Well, not her. But
Yeah, I
hey, if someone can make a quality Rocky Horror Picture Show movie or game, Rocky Horror Picture Show game, I'd buy it.
Yeah, you'd buy at least one.
Mm-hmm.
What would it be about?
Good question. Because they actually made one they made a PC game in the 80s.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I'm just trying to remember what it was about. How they framed the game exactly though.
Was it like Fortnite?
No, it's wouldn't be a Fortnite set. It'd be something kind of running around trying to escape from the mansion. Brad and Janet trying to get out of the mansion.
Huh.
And they could probably do the adult themes a little better now because we're a little looser with that.
I never got into that movie. I have a hard time with it.
It's a fun movie.
I just don't get it.
I do enjoy Time Warp.
Like Clockwork Orange, that one too. I don't get those movies.
That's a movie that takes you got to have a special sense to really go with that movie because it'll mess you up.
Huh.
Yeah, I tried.
We have 2 more questions. Last one, I swear, is a real question. So Isabella Neves, the gaming girl, or Nieves, the gaming girl, 6558 said, "Anybody love Nickelodeon?" Yes.
I think
good. So we all love Nickelodeon. I think she was excited about some of the new stuff coming up, so she's always commenting on.
About Loud House and stuff.
I grew up in the early years of like when it didn't have a whole lot of its own content. When a lot of the stuff like you can't do that on television. That's actually from Canada. They got that. They got like Pinwheel, which was another variety type show on from Canada. They had Mr. Wizard, where you got to learn about science.
Okay.
You're pulling off the deep cuts.
Yeah.
In fact, the green slime that Nickelodeon is synonymous with came from You Can't Do That on Television.
Huh.
Which, a lot of my friends and I, my age, all us guys in our 40s, 50s, whatever, we quote that show, and you couldn't say I don't know because you got slimed. If you said water, you got water poured on you. That sort of thing.
That's awesome.
I grew up in the early era of the Nicktoons where you had Doug, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You know? Ren and Stimpy. A show that...
Yep.
It was a show.
Influenced my humor.
It
was a
influenced
show.
my humor.
It was my favorite back then. That and like Real Monsters, some of the weird stuff because I've always been gravitated to
Rocko's
the weird
Modern
stuff.
Life got away with so much.
Yeah, that was another one of my favorites too. How come we never got a game for that? We got a
We did
Doug.
actually.
Do we have one?
There was one for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because like even Doug got games, and that was weird.
Doug, that was an odd show.
It was weird, yeah. It was, especially if you watch it now, it's very strange.
Yes.
But as a kid, like you just some things you don't pick up on, and like I feel like they kind of knew that, so it's like you're limited to what you could watch. Then you just watched it, and then you end up liking it.
That's like watch He-Man and the Masters of the Universe as an adult. You pick up on some stuff.
Yeah, they did a lot of that with that, and they did a lot of that sort of stuff in Thundercats too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of that in those shows.
Watch like crazy stuff. Even like Rugrats, they had like the parents like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I don't know. I've lost control of my lip." You know, as he's like mixing the chocolate or the pudding or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like,
You like cut out for a sec.
sorry, I cut out. No, but it's just like they said like some crazy little, adult humor things that
went over the kids' heads.
Back you catch. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's nothing crazy, like it's okay, you know what I mean? Like probably it was probably the sort of thing like, oh, let's entertain the adults that have to watch these with their kids.
That's like if you watch Teen Titans Go nowadays, they make so many '80s references, and I'm sitting there, yeah, that's right.
The kids have no idea what you're talking about.
Dad, what's the A-Team? One of the greatest television shows ever to come out of the '80s, son. Sit down. This is why this is why I named you BA.
$1 Million Man. Let's get a new $1 Million Man. I want to see what they can do with that.
Oh yeah, $6 Million Man.
Man.
We have the technology. We can fix you. We don't want to spend a lot of money. That's what happened to Peter Griffin.
Oh man.
We do have a couple comments before I say the last question.
Okay.
The OG brothers said they were talking about buy large, break up and sell what you don't need. Ernesto said buy, sell, and trade games. The Retro Wildland said, evening, everyone. Love Nickelodeon. Long live Stickly. Thinking inside the box said, Rocko's Modern Life is the greatest of all time. The OG Bros said, I used to love Cartoon Network also. Dexter's, yes.
Yeah.
And Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Carl said, Johnny Bravo is hilarious.
Man, I'm such
Hey, mama.
Yeah, Cartoon Network was like my thing. I liked it way more than Nickelodeon. I watched everything on Cartoon Network, but Nickelodeon had like a select few.
Pretty much the same, but no, I think I was more of a Nick kid. But
I was so weird. See, you got a mix of both, then, right?
Yeah, I watched
That's
all
cool.
of it. But...
I loved like Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel and like the early Cartoon Network was my favorite.
Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, Courage and all those. They were like, I think the Cartoon Network gravitation was like, I feel like there were no misses for me. Like there were even weird ones that didn't last like super long. Like I Am a Teenage Robot. Do you guys remember that one?
Oh, I watched that too.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Some of like the deep cuts. Like I didn't think there were like any misses with
when I got Cartoon Network. They had almost no original programming. It was just all old Hanna-Barbera and
all the
Turner
boomerang stuff.
So, like, I got introduced to the Banana Splits through that.
Yep, same.
And yeah.
Hey, I like Banana Splits.
Yes. Tra-la-la, la-la-la-la, tra-la-la. Showing my age here.
Wacky Races.
Oh, Wacky Races.
Oh,
yeah, man, I love that.
Yeah.
Fun too.
I love when they spoofed that on South Park. That's like one of my favorite episodes.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I loved all that Hanna-Barbera stuff too. Super Friends.
Super Friends. I love Harvey Birdman. Dude, I love that show.
Me too. And my favorite, Space Ghost, was my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Space Ghost was the best.
Yeah, I loved
The
Space
the
Ghost.
Brack Show.
Yeah, I was more of the OG Space Ghost. When the Coast to Coast, I couldn't get into it.
Space Ghost, the Galaxy Trio. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that too.
Yeah, the Coast to Coast kind of. I can appreciate some of it
That's
now, but it wasn't my
that's
thing.
what set Adult Swim on its course.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Adult Swim is just Adult Swim has this. I figured out with Adult Swim, they start out with the normal stuff like King of the Hill, Family Guy, American Dad,
And then
but
the weird
as it gets
stuff.
later, it gets more off the rails, and then about 2-3 in the morning, they try to put the normal stuff back on for the kids who might wake up early and not see like Tim and Eric and be like, "What is this? Oh my god!"
Yeah. There's some weird stuff on there. That's for sure.
Metalocalypse for life.
Dude, yes. Yeah, for sure. I saw Death Clock in concert twice.
I'm trying to get tickets to the Baby Clock tour.
What's that?
Death Clock is touring with Baby Metal.
Oh, God. I'll pass on the Baby Metal.
Baby Metal's not that bad.
Not my thing.
I know them because of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Wait, what?
They were on the soundtrack for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh, were they really?
Yes.
Nice.
The song "Gimme Chocolate."
Huh. Yeah, I tried. I just can't do it. I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
J-pop is weird.
Not my thing. We have any more questions?
One final question, but before we get to it,
Okay.
I swear I did not make this question up. Someone asked it. So for anyone watching, we're gonna have all of our special guests' information in the description below, so that you guys can find him, and just let everyone know where they can find you at one more time.
So you can find me on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or you can go to the unforgettableluncheon.buzzsprout.com. You can also find me as the Unforgettable Luncheon on Facebook, or you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram as SteamedHams81.
Awesome.
Yes. Very cool. So on that ending note, Bill Cook, 4768 said,
I'm getting ready to click off because I'm getting scared.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
We discussed this at work yesterday, actually. It
is not a sandwich to me.
Technically, it is a sandwich. Technical speaking.
Is it? Is there like a technical term for sandwiches?
Well, here's the thing. With a hot dog, you don't always have a bun. Maybe you have just the one piece of bread that you wrap around it. That's not a sandwich. A sandwich is two conjoined pieces, and while technically with a hot dog bun you can separate it and do that, it's not a sandwich.
So a hot dog on a bun could be considered a sandwich, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but not just a hot dog.
You need a hot dog where you have the bun, the hot dog, and ketchup. That is a sandwich, and thank you.
All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you all so
and
much.
Before we go,
Oh.
my mascot, Chuck.
And
Hello,
that is
Chuck.
a hot dog right there.
That's a
There
hot
he
dog.
is.
Yes, it is.
He's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog looking dog.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Chuck.
Alrighty.
We appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. Everybody have
Thank
a great night. Say bye to Chuck.